My name is Anouk, and in this video I will explain how you can present or chair during your session at ECC 21. Before we begin, I'm going to give you some background information about the platform that is being used for the event. The platform has a front and a back end. As an attendee, you join the conference via the front end, also called the web app. From here, you can, among others, watch the virtual sessions. So you could go to the program, select a day, select a specific session, and enter the virtual room here. If you are a speaker or chair for a specific session, you should not join the room here. Instead, you should go to the back end. Here you have your own dashboard from where you can present or chair. In this video, I will explain in more detail the dashboard that you will use for your sessions. Now, how to access your dashboard? You are or will soon be invited to the sessions you are part of, as a chair or as a speaker. You will receive this email where you can open your dashboard. Create an account or sign in using the same email address as you've been invited with. In the page of the event, you will find all the sessions you've been invited to. Click on a session to access the session's dashboard. Now, how to present in a virtual session. This is your dashboard. You can control your camera and microphone at the bottom. With the arrow on the side, you can select another source if that's needed. For example, when you're using a headset. Make sure to position the camera at eye level and avoid too much backlight. At the bottom left of the screen, you can see two modes, Present Live and Pre-Record. During ECC, you only need to stay on Present Live and you can ignore the Pre-Record button completely. On Present Live, you can be heard by other speakers and chairs if they join their dashboard too. You won't be heard by the attendees until the session is broadcasting during the event. The technical moderator of your session will inform you when that's happening. If the technical moderator enabled the panel mode, you would also see the other speakers and chairs once they enabled their microphone and camera. So when no one else is on their dashboard, you will just see yourself here in the camera preview. But once the technical moderator enables the panel mode, you will also see all the other people of your session, so the other chairs and speakers, here on the camera preview frame. If you do not want to participate on this panel, you do not want to be visible there, you just have to disable both your camera and microphone and you will disappear from the grid. Now on Present Live, you do have the option to upload slides here in the big frame on the middle or to share your screen. However, since your presentation is already pre-recorded, this won't be needed. Below your camera preview, you have the interactive features. On the chat tab, moderators, the technical moderator, speakers, chairs, and attendees can post messages. Note that the messages that are sent cannot be deleted. The chat will be removed by the technical moderator once the session starts. When the chat is removed, you won't be able to see it anymore on your speaker dashboard. On the Q&A tab, all the suggestions that are sent in by the audience are visible. You as a chair and speaker can also send in questions at the bottom. So if I would write here a question, I could submit it. It won't be visible right away in this list. It first needs to be approved by the technical moderator. The technical moderator will make the questions visible throughout the session, so they will appear here on your dashboard. The attendees will be able to like the questions by clicking here on the heart icons. You cannot upvote or like questions, but you will be able to see how many likes a question received. Now on the third tab, you will see the session's attendees. So you're able to know how many people are watching this session. Lastly, below the slides frame, where you could upload slides, there is a voting option. This is something you could also ignore on your speaker dashboard. Now, during the session, when you're not presenting, you're not participating in a Q&A, you can go here to Audience View. This button will be visible when you hover over this big frame in the middle, or maybe you have to click, but then you will see this button, Audience View. When you click this button, you will be able to see what the attendees will be seeing during the session, what is broadcasting at the time. So in order to watch the other presentations, do not open the web app and enter the room as an attendee. Just go to Audience View and watch the sessions from here. Important to remember, also on Audience View, if you are not muted, you can be heard by the audience. So mute yourself on Audience View if you should not be heard. Now, what happens actually during a session? The session flow is as follows. The session will start with an introduction from the chair and the co-chair of the session. They will introduce the first speaker, after which the technical moderator will start the pre-recording of that speaker. When the pre-recording is finished, we will return to panel mode where there will be a Q&A with the chair, the co-chair and that first speaker. After that, we will go to the next presentation and we will follow these steps until all presentations are over. I will now show you what happens when we are starting a pre-recording and when we're returning to panel mode. So, right now, as a moderator, a technical moderator, I've selected the panel mode. So let's say, the chair and the co-chair are appearing here on the grid. We've introduced the first speaker. So now the technical moderator will select the first pre-recording. As a speaker or chair, you can stay here on Audience View, where you will be able to watch the pre-recording that is being played. So you can just watch the pre-recording. You can see here the questions that are coming in throughout the pre-recording that is being played. And just wait for the pre-recording to finish. Once the pre-recording is finished, I will just do it now myself. The technical moderator will go back to panel mode. Please note that if you are the chair of the session, you will just be brought back to present live. So as a chair, you will have to do the panel mode from present live because you will be selected as the active speaker. All the speakers, you will be able to stay in Audience View throughout the session. So for you, when we return from the pre-recording, you will just stay on Audience View and you do not need to leave or go anywhere else throughout the session. So there will be a panel discussion between the chair, the co-chair and the speaker. And once that panel discussion is over, we will go to the next pre-recording. So what happens? The technical moderator will select the second pre-recording. Here we go. And you can watch it again from Audience View. So the first time I made the switch, I selected myself as I selected the chair. So we've seen that the speaker was brought back to audience to present live. Now I will mimic what will happen to the speakers. So for speakers, as you can see, once the pre-recording stops and we go back to panel, you stay on Audience View. You are not brought back to present live. This only applies to the chair. So here, if it was your presentation that just finished playing, you have to make sure that you enable your camera and microphone so you can participate with the discussion. You will actually appear here on the grid. Now, the bottom line, the general rule that you can take into account is that for chairs, we ask you to leave your camera enabled at all times. In doing so, when we switch from a pre-recording to the panel, you will appear here on the grid by default, and you only have to unmute yourself. Because it's very important that your microphone is muted throughout the pre-recording. For the speakers, we ask you to disable your microphone and camera at all times, unless it's your turn to join the Q&A after your presentation. So when it's your presentation that just finished, enable your microphone and camera at the bottom, and you will appear on the grid to have the Q&A with the chair and co-chair. This Q&A is scheduled for 5 minutes. Once the Q&A is over, you can just disable your camera and microphone and from here watch the other pre-recordings and panel discussions. Now, we strongly advise to enter your dashboard prior to the conference to explore the options, but most importantly to check your microphone and camera. You also will be invited to a 30-minute briefing before the session starts, in which the technical moderator will go through all these steps with you again to make sure you know what is expected and to answer any questions you might have. Thank you for watching this video.